Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Necromancer for Diablo 3. The last couple weeks of the Necromancer beta, the Necromancer was essentially turned off. The test realm was up, but the Necromancer was not available. Unfortunate. But hey, news everyone! The Necromancer is out on live servers, as many of you are probably aware of now. So yeah, my hopes and dreams of getting this out in a semi-timely manner is basically dash against the rocks, but hey, from what I can tell, no major changes, at least to skill progression, were made, so I leveled up my Necromancer to where we were, and I will continue, because that's what I do. Honestly, I still think it's not bad. This is still fairly good timing, as the next season, Season 11, has not come out yet. That's actually on the 20th as of this recording in 4 days. So the next season isn't up. Only non-seasonal characters are available. And something that might help me is that apparently there's a double XP weekend happening, which to me is a little weird considering there's a season downtime. And most people already have a lot of XP, but I guess it's for the people that might be joining us here in Diablo afresh, thanks to the Necromancer, I can only guess. So just a couple things real quick, since the Necromancer is out, I'll go to the Collection tab. We can actually take a look at some things here. I'm guessing this is where the store is in some of the other markets, since this has trappings of it. Like, you can actually look at the expansion and the deluxe. This will actually tell you everything you can get from these things. Which is just completely new from this last patch that I can tell. But we can take a look. You can see the Necromancer class. You get these Wings of the Guardian, a half-form Golem. You actually do get a banner, a pennant, a frame, 2 new hero slots, of course, and 2 new stash tabs. That's everything you get for about 15 bucks. And so I went ahead and put on my wings and my pet. Since this is on non-seasonal, my character has a whole bunch of Paragon points, and I'm currently sitting on Torment 1, although I could possibly bring it up. Torment 1 seems to be a good point right now, but I have all of my Paragon points. We'll get into the game and start it up, get some experience, and with the double XP weekend, it should be real easy to just quickly go over skills. I believe I've recreated the build as of the last time everyone should have been watching. So just real quick, I've got my Siphon Blood, which increases in power. Skeletal Mages, that's with Singularity, so it takes up my entire essence. I have Bone Spirits, that whenever I consume corpses, I gain, it lowers the cooldown, and I have the Rune that increases it from 3 to 4. Land of the Dead with the Cold, which freezes enemies nearby. Frailty with, what's Volatile Death? I went for, enemies explode on death, and of course Devour with Devouring Aura, so I will always be getting essence back passively whenever there's corpses nearby. So we're just going to go into a Nephilim Rim. We're going to... Nephilim Rim? I don't know. Oh yeah, community event buff. You know, with my giant arrow, it covers over some of the text. That kind of sucks. Everything's increased by 200%. Wait, it's not double? It's like triple? Or is it trying to say that experience gains is 200%? If it's increased by 200%, that means it's triple XP. Alright then. Well, just to kind of get a recap of where we are, I mean, I'm very close to level, so this shouldn't take long to, yeah, see, there it is. Level 45. We'll just put down a few more spirits and take these guys out. I mean, hell, look how fast this level is coming. Alright, let's go take a look at the next skills, shall we? A new primary, we've got Grim Scythe going into Frost Scythe. Each enemy hit increases my attack speed by 1% for 5 seconds, up to a 15% or 15 stacks. So again, cold affecting attack speed. It doesn't look like I have any other new abilities, but I did get a new passive. So with that, I will probably get rid of Spreading Benevolence. What do we have? We have Grisly Tribute. You are healed 10% of your life on hit when one of your minions hits an enemy. Don't necessarily need that, although I should probably change this out a bit to increase my Mage duration since I didn't have that. There we go. There we go. Frozen Scythe. Oh yeah, everything's dying fast. As a matter of fact, I could probably up the difficulty just a little bit. I'm a little afraid to do so, just because as I get closer and closer to 70, the enemies should get tougher. In case anyone's wondering about my Paragon, I don't have enough to maximize everything. You can see that my gold find isn't maxed here. Here my life regeneration isn't maxed. My attack speed isn't maxed, and of course, core is just core. Alright. That Scythe gets to swinging pretty quick, doesn't it? And with that attack speed, I can gain essence real fast, honestly. I mean, not that I'm not already getting it real quick with my Devour aura. But the beautiful thing about these is it's a Scythe is per enemy hit, as opposed to the other abilities, which just do a flat amount over time. And see, look, we've already leveled to 46, so this is probably going to be a lot quicker than even I thought it would be. This XP buff is amazing. All right, so we'll go ahead and get rid of Land of the Dead and go into the Land of Confusion. Sorry, Army of the Dead. And we're going to have Frozen Army. So the army tramples enemies in a line, and damage turns to cold. Okay, that could be interesting. We'll have to see how this line works. So it looks like I'm getting a new Frailty. I've got Harvest Essence, so I gain 2 Essence when a cursed enemy dies. So I'm losing my Land of the Dead to give me that really big burst of Essence that I was using earlier. But I'm getting Essence when enemies die, so what that should probably do is even out my my Essence gain, right? The curve of Essence gained. So with Land of the Dead, you know, I would get a ton of Essence, and then I would have some downtime. Here, I should get more Essence over time, like in chunks here, as we can see it's going up to halfway, then I pop another Mage. So let's do the... Oh, look at that. Okay, that was pretty cool. I'll have to do that out in the open somewhere, again, to really show that off. But I thought that was pretty cool looking. So they're going a straight line, and they go for quite a while. Did it say over time? It just says 1200. So it's just all at once? It looked like it lasted for a second or two. Alright, I'm not even having to use my Poltergeist at this point. Oh. We have a Gem Hoarder. I'm just going to throw everything at him. There he goes. I guess I didn't even need to. He just died so fast. So one thing I've noticed when it comes to leveling and having really high Paragon is that you can really get the damage out there to where I could maximize the Torment. Like, you can only go to, what was it, like Torment 6, I think it was, before you hit a certain level. And you have enough damage easily with that much Paragon to kill stuff. But what I've noticed is what starts to take a hit is your survivability. Like, I could kill things quickly, but I had to constantly, I had to be on the move so much that it's not really worth it. I don't know if that's how it is for people that go into higher rifts. But that's certainly what I ran across. Whew, God, I gained so much essence from that. All right, let's go into the next one. So we've hit 47 already. We're going to get a new Skeletal Mage. This one is life support. Risen Mages will cost 10% of my health, but they will last an additional 2 seconds. So we've got Skeletal Mages, which normally last 8 seconds, adding 2 to that, so 10 plus the additional Servitude of 25. So maybe get 12 seconds out of that, I think, if I do my out of my head math, which anybody knows me knows I suck at doing math off the top of my head. Looks like I'm going to get a new Devour rune, and we're going to get Voracious. Reduces all essence cost by 2% for each corpse consumed for 5 seconds. Now, I don't think that's going to affect my mages at all. I'm probably going to have to change those out, because I don't think there's going to be any interplay there. Because how can you reduce the resource cost of something that takes all of your resource, right? I mean, that makes no sense. I need to move these around, so I will put Devour here, so I can, there we go. Actually, I need to, let's do that, there we go. So we'll try it. We'll see if anything happens. I don't know if we'll be able to tell for sure. Let's get things. In fact, let's just get things dead. Look at that. Just hits hard. Alright, so I'm going to use a skeleton, then I'm going to eat a couple of corpses. And then I'm going to skeleton again. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, that's right, that's right, that's right. I apologize. I completely forgot I was using life support. Wow, look at the red attacks. Those are awesome looking. I like the red glow. Okay, so it's 40 essence and 10% health. So with this, I am... You can see my health going down for sure. So I just need to keep my health up. Damn, 40 essence and 10% health. The 10% health thing hurts, but I'm getting health back fairly quickly right now. I need to spam the hell out of these things, though.
I have long waited for this knowledge.
And I've leveled already. Alright, let me take a quick look here at life support. Yeah, it just increases their timer. Well, we're going to get rid of them already. We're going to go into Death Nova. So you've seen how they look. They look great, honestly. I love the red glow. But we are going into the new Death Nova, which is Bone Nova. Spines will radiate out and deal 475% weapon damage within 12 yards. This is a bit more acceptable, I think, for me, because then I can just spam that. It is only 20 essence, which is already fairly cheap. With Blood and Bone, though, I'll be getting Bone Armor. We're getting Harvest of Anguish. Bone Armor will now increase my movement speed for 1% for each enemy it hits. And considering that lasts for, what, a minute? If it goes off the stacks that this gets, which is a maximum of 10, then that'll get my movement speed up another 10%. So I should be moving a total of 35% faster at pretty much any given time, because one thing I noticed about Bone Armor is that when you redo it, it keeps its current stacks and adds to it, rather than some of the other abilities I've seen with similar effects, which refreshes based on just how many things you've hit. We'll go into, it looks like Army of the Dead is going away again, this time to Land of the Dead. This time we're going to get Plaguelands. So Land of the Dead will deal 10,000 weapon damage as poison over its duration. It lasts for 10 seconds, so you're looking at 1,000 weapon damage per second, roughly. Napkin math, right? Okay, well that's good, because I still got my aura, which I can basically spam. I'll have no end of my spikes. Oh, those look cool. Look at that. Let me zoom in. Very nice. Okay. Let's just get some Bone Armor. And yep, my movement speed is pretty nice. Gosh, I can just spam the heck out of that even without... like, I'm going to go over here and do Land of the Dead. And I'm going to spam both my corpse consumption and this. I don't need it. I can spam so much. Let's check my movement speed. I believe it's under adventure. Movement speed is currently at, yep, 35%. So see, like I just consumed it from one creature and I'm still sitting on a stack of 10. And we can basically take a look and once again confirm that the adventure movement speed says 35%. So yeah, pretty much you can almost count that as a permanent 10% buff to movement speed. That's not bad, actually. I'm gaining back so much essence. Not hitting very hard, unfortunately. I should probably change my floating combat text. I've got it set right now to only do crits. So you're really only seeing crits. That's why you're not seeing raw damage numbers right now. But it might be easier to see the crits damage in general with that. Yeah, at this point, because my build is so efficient, I'm like not even using a primary right now. My build is so efficient, I don't even really need Land of the Dead. At this point, with this build, Land of the Dead is just basically relegated to a massive AoE. So here, I'm just spamming, consuming corpses all the while. Well, we're pretty close to level. I mean, like I said, this is going amazingly. We've been in maybe 17 minutes, and I wasted a good 5 minutes of your time with exposition. And I've already gained 4 levels. So there's been, at this point, I would imagine I've done no hard cuts. It's just been raw gameplay as it's been happening. Which I haven't really done much in this. I've been trying to cut out a lot of the superfluous stuff for you guys. Oh, hey, I actually, here we go. I actually needed some essence there. Alright, let's clear out the area and we'll see what we got as far as skills. Oh, I want to point out, too, I actually got... Oh, maybe I don't have it on me anymore. I had a legendary for my Necromancer at some point. We'll have to take a look at that later. Okay, Blood and Bone. Blood and Bone is going to go from Bone Armor, so we're going to lose that. We're going to get Blood Rush, which is our movement skill. And we're going to get Molting. So this leaves a corpse at my original location. So I will spend 5% health in order to disappear and reappear, and it will leave a corpse behind. So it's a good way to get a free corpse. And since I'm losing Land of the Dead, that's probably a good thing. Command Skeletons will be replacing that with Kill Command. So I now command my Skeletons to explode, dealing 215% weapon damage as poison to all enemies within 15 yards. Okay, not bad. Let's see. Oh, one thing that did change, I noticed, last time I did the video on the Necromancer, I noted that when I had Flesh Golems and then I used Revive on the Flesh Golems, I got generic enemies. Not so anymore. If you use a Flesh Golem and Revive from that, you actually get a bunch of smaller Flesh Golems. As far as stats, I don't know how that affects them, but... Alright, so let's do that. That's Kill Command. You can see the skeletons all disappeared. Okay. Okay. I mean, that's great if the skeletons... I think they will jump to the location, actually. Let's give the skeletons a second to come back. And so I've got a couple skeletons over here. If I kill command, yep, they rush over and explode immediately.
Not enough essence.
Yeah, I'm starting to run out of essence now. I'm just having to devour a lot more. And then we'll kill command. That kill command does quite a bit of damage. The unfortunate thing, though, is it doesn't seem as useful as the other skeleton-based abilities because it's good. Okay, this kill command I can see being very useful against maybe big groups of smaller things.
I need essence.
Yeah. But against bigger groups or a boss, it's not as useful. So, I mean, depending upon how your build goes. And what you need more, that might be what you have to take a look at, because the thing about all the other skeletons is their buff lasts for the duration of the creature that they are attacking. As long as it lives, they're getting a bonus to their attack. As far as kill command's concerned, it's one and done. You hit them, they're gone. They're just completely gone. Not bad. Things are starting to slow down here, though. I think we're going to need to move on to get to a better place, because things are not dying nearly as fast. And in order to get these out, I want to do as little editing as possible, because that saves me time having to go back and forth. And that allows me to get these out to you faster. You know, just keep kill commanding when I can. So the other downside here, of course, to kill command is you'll notice I'm having to wait for skeletons to come up. So it's one of those things where you can't spam very reliably. So even though one of its primary uses is against like smaller creatures, it's kind of an internal cooldown, if you will, waiting for the skeletons to come up. It doesn't technically have a cooldown, but if the skeletons are not alive, obviously they can't jump in. Well, I guess we'll see how well this works against a Guardian. Here, I'm going to get my attack speed up to hopefully... Well, that's another thing. I don't really know if I get my attack speed up, but if it increases the attack speed of my minions, it would be nice if it did. But, oh, okay, taking quite a bit of health damage here. Let's get rid of this guy. Oh, hello. Okay, I just took a bunch of damage. So without my... Ooh. Without my bone armor, I'm kind of fragile here. It would appear that my life on hit is sustaining me right now. Oh my. Alright. I guess this will have to be a cut, because this is taking too long, and we did level. Oh, never mind. I freaking found a pylon that I didn't know was there, and I might as well just show that off. I'm going to very quickly get as many kills with this, because... Okay, I don't want to kill too much, because I'm about to level already because of that frickin' pylon. That's amazing. Oh my goodness, the XP gain. Okay, blood and bone. Really? Oh, Shazbot. Okay, run.
Give it more time.
Okay, can we not do this? Alright, skills. So we've got a Bone Spirit now, so we're going to get Unfinished Business. Bone Spirit explodes. It will deal 1,250% weapon damage is cold to all enemies within 10 yards upon detonation. So Bone Spirit normally is 4,000. So we're seeing a massive cut. I mean, we're pretty much getting 25% of the power, so 75, almost close. I mean, it's not exact math, but you're looking at a major reduction in power. But you're turning this from an ability that hits a single target really, really freaking hard to a reasonable AoE. So a 1,000 on an AoE is not too bad. We'll get Bone Spirit on there. It doesn't look like we got any other skills. We got a new passive, though, of Draw Life. Increases your life regeneration by 10% for each enemy within 20 yards. So if I play in close, I can help myself out. I might actually do that instead of the Extended Servitude. I'll get that to help me out with survival here, as I was taking a bit of damage there. So as my build goes right now, as the build turns, I have really a lot of AoE between the Bone Spirit, which, let's go ahead and put that out there. Boom, you can kind of see a nice amount of damage there. With that and the bone... Yeah, the Bone Spirits and the Bone Nova. This is actually working out fairly well because I devour a bunch of corpses and then I just blow everything up with Bone Spirit. So here we go again. We've made it to 51. A new primary. We're going to go back to Siphon Blood, but this time we've got Purity of Essence. Essence gained is increased to 20 while you are at full health. So if I can keep my life up, which honestly I'm not exactly sure, I don't think I really like that. Just looking at it on paper, I don't really think I like that, because staying at full health is not necessarily easy, especially with a lot of incidental damage and higher end rifts and things like that. I mean, you do gain 2% of your health every second while it's channeled. So, I mean, there is that. I don't know. It seems like... I don't know. I have a hard time in my head kind of really justifying that as an ability, because it has to be at full health. I mean, even the curious thing, the Aquila here, as a resource thing, says you have to be at 90% primary resource. I mean, that makes sense because you're actively spending it, but oh well. Command Skeleton is going to get replaced with Blood Golem. So here's our staple ability. Like, one of the first abilities you get in Diablo 2 is a Blood Golem. And the Golem will sacrifice itself. It will heal you for 25% of your health, and it will reconstruct at the targeted location. As the Golem reconstructs, Veiny Tendrils will damage nearby enemies for 450 as physical. So it looks like it's damage over time. I can't tell if... I don't think it's going to be 450 per tick. I think it's going to be 450 over its duration. It depends on how fast it reconstructs. So this will be interesting. So let's just put Command Golem on so we can take a look at the big guy in all his ugly pulsating glory. You like looking at my big golem, don't you guys? Okay, let's look at the... I'm just going to go through all the golems. There's the flesh golem. He doesn't really change much. The first runes on these things don't usually. Bring it up to the ice golem. Let's get away from that foreground thing. Alright, there's the ice golem. Go to bone golem. All the golems look pretty good. We'll go back to decay golem. Yeah, not too much different on the art on that one, but still pretty neat. And then we will go to Blood Golem. Ah, alright, so he looks mostly like the Flesh Golem, but with a little more red to him. Okay, let's, shall we take a look at how long he reconstructs then, because that'll be important. What was that? Somewhere between 3 and 5 seconds? I didn't quite start my count when I should have. I think that's about right. That's not too bad. So 450 over that amount of time. Oh, right, I don't have my Scythe anymore. I was trying to walk around, swing my Scythe. I mean, I guess I'm sticking at full health here. Alright, we're going to have to restart the Zarift. I really, really like the effect on that, to be honest. The veiny tendrils? It's pretty nice. Alright, let's get in here and do some damage automatically right away. We find ourselves in the speed pylon. Well, these things are great when you got a lot of Paragon. Apparently I forgot to turn back on my monster bars. I don't know why those were off to begin with. I should really disable that hotkey, to be quite honest. I like the look of that drain. Something about the mixed colors. It's kind of neat. Like you're draining essence and blood. It's kind of cool. Okay, just throw those out there and... Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Let's go ahead and drain with the Siphon. Yeah, that gets your health back up quick. You know what? Thinking about that, seeing how fast that goes up, I could see that being useful in the build, especially if you want to keep your distance. Get that to get your essence back up, and then just pop some ranged abilities. Like right now, it's not ideal, but I could see it on other builds. Well, we're gonna lose it for now. We're going back to bone spikes, and we're gonna get blood spikes. Enemies hit bleed for 50% of your weapon damage as physical over 2 seconds, and it will also heal you for 0.5% of your total life over the duration. So for 2 seconds, you get 0.5 of your life. I imagine that stacks, because you can attack so fast. There's no reason why that shouldn't stack, right? I mean, obviously it's going to stack on every enemy you hit, but it should stack on a single enemy as well. Looks like we're going to get rid of Bone Spirit for now. We're going to go back to Blood Rush, and we're going to get Hemostasis, which removes the health cost. So we're literally just getting a 5-second dash, which is cool. No health cost. Boom. Done. Done. See that? Done. Let's take a look at the spikes. They got a nice red color. So if you like abilities that give you health over time, this will certainly do it. Yeah, these builds as I'm going are obviously not ideal. I would have to really swap some things around to make some of these work right now. I'm just doing what I normally do and just using the builds as I get them, of course, just to see if I can make this crazy thing work. And right now I can, but part of that is probably due to just the overpowered nature of my Paragon points, even on Torment 1 right now. Oh, I have no essence. Get some drain out there. I'm staying alive, I think, by virtue of my blood spikes alone here, to be honest. Ah, shielding. Shielding, shielding, shielding. Why? I hate you, shielding. Yeah, I mean, as we can see, the healing on it is working out so far. If you stack a lot of vitality, then something like this for 0.5% of your total life And that's per enemy hit, so, you know, big stacks like this, you know, there's 1, 2, 3% of my health right there coming back every 2 seconds? 2 seconds, yep. So the more enemies you hit, the more health you get back, the more sustainable you are. That's pretty cool. More essence. Need more essence. Cool. Jeez. If things keep going like this, I'll probably cut it off at the 10 level mark. Things are just going so smoothly. Like I said, I'm kind of sitting at 38 minutes. We're already at 52. I mean, that gives me 2 more levels. So who knows? This may be less than an hour video. For me, that's so weird, isn't it? I mean, I have to say, overall, I'm still happy with the Necro. Kind of glad I got him. But I have to really try the sets, you know? There's 4 different sets, and unfortunately, because we're not on the test realm anymore, I've lost access to my dank memes. And without my dank memes, I just can't get all the legendaries and stuff. I actually have to earn my legendaries the hard way, which is farm for them. Anyone knows that my luck means that kind of sucks because it's going to take me ages to get a decent build, but, you know, I'll try. I mean, there's already a lot of builds out there, I'm sure. I could go check Diablo fans and probably just test them out and, you know, say, hey, this is neat, let me try some variants on it. To be honest, though, what I like about finding my own gear is that it allows me to just make wonky builds that probably shouldn't work, or intermediary builds that, you know, will get you by for a time. It looks like I got 3 abilities with this level, so this is pretty impressive. We've got Bone Spear as our new secondary going into Blood Spear. Bone Spear will turn into Blood Spear. Damage is increased to 650 weapon damage as physical, but it takes 10% of my health, so more blood abilities which take more health. Okay. So I got to be careful with that. I can combine the blood spears with the blood spikes. So the blood spikes will give me health back. The blood spear will spend it. So that could work, hopefully. All right, let's put it out there. Pray, right? Looks like I'm getting a new Devour. This time we're getting Cannibalize. Each corpse consumed also restores 3% health. So this is good timing, actually. So I've got the spikes, which will restore health. I've got Devour, which will restore health. And then Bone Spear to spend it. Although I've got Blood Rush, which doesn't spend it anymore. Command Golem, going away to Land of the Dead. So that'll work well with my Devour. Basically, I can do Land of the Dead and get all my health back. This time we're getting Shallow Graves. Every 10 enemies killed will extend the duration by 1 second. Up to a maximum of 2 seconds. Well, that doesn't seem great. So you kill 20 enemies, you get 2 more seconds out of something that lasts for 10, so it lasts for 12. So you're improving its duration by 20%. I mean, when you put it into percentage points, that's actually a pretty good percentage, but it's still 2 seconds, but you have to kill 20 enemies to do it. That seems... yeah, that seems meh to me. Very meh. Oh well. Oh well. Let me move on. There's that Bone Spear. Ooh, that looks pretty good. I like it. Okay. Well, then let's go spend some health. And anything I kill, so I can basically put my blood spikes on things to get my health regeneration up. If I need an additional burst of health, I can Devour. This is okay. This is okay. This is kind of working. Would I use Frailty for this? Or would I increase my... I can increase my life gain even more by putting Leech as my curse. I'm doing okay so far with the bone spikes, and this Frailty really, I mean, 15% basically takes away 15% of their life bar in one hit. So we should try out Land of the Dead here in a moment. Get a good spot so we can see what the shallow graves looks like. Let's get a more open area, shall we? This should do. So I'm going to activate shallow graves, and oh yeah, you can see the lots of graves kind of shifting about. Very mobile graves, apparently. So I think the first thing when I see a big group of enemies is going to be just hit them with the spikes so that I can start my life drain right away. And then as they die, just keep hitting Devour. Oh, really?
That needs to recharge.
Of course there's a conduit and a dead end. Bloody Rift. Why would you do this to me? I'm gonna lose it. And there's doors to open. Oh no! Oh, this area. I like the look of this area, but as a rift, it's a pain in the ass. I lost a lot of time because of that whole dead end over there. Look at that. Oh, I do not like this place as a rift. No bueno, no bueno. Alright, it's okay. Move on. Oh, what? He just appeared out of nowhere, didn't he? Alright. Did he get away? Nope, he did not. Oh, where'd he go? I lost sight of the little bugger. There we go. Jerk. Running away from me like that. Okay, well, new skills. We have made it to 54 in 45 minutes because of the new XP buff, and I've not had too much to say about each thing, so, I mean, this is good for me. Siphon Blood turns into Drain Life. Increase the amount of health restored to 6%, but no longer restores essence. Oh! Oh, well, that's interesting, isn't it? So now we have a primary that doesn't restore primary resources anymore. Seriously, 300 weapon damage is physical. I heal, so it lets me heal. So this would be great for these blood builds. The only downside is the blood abilities still require essence. I mean, this bone spear still requires essence. So if I'm not going to get the essence from Siphon Blood, I'm going to have to get it from corpses through Devour, I would imagine. But I don't know how this is going to work out, because on this same level, I'm also going to get a Corpse Explosion, so I'm losing Devour. Corpse Explosion, Final Embrace. Corpses pull themselves towards the nearest enemy before exploding, but Corpse Explosion now costs 2% life per corpse. Oh, well, that's kind of interesting. So they just kind of magnetize themselves to an enemy. That's neat. We're also going to be losing Land of the Dead, going back to Army of the Dead with Dead Storm. This one... cost is so I lose 20% of my health, but I raise a Storm of the Dead that surrounds me, damaging enemies for 15,500% weapon damage as physical over 5 seconds. Now it says around me, so I imagine this is kind of a maelstrom of damage that I can move with me, and so in 5 seconds I can move quickly, like it was maybe a conduit. Okay. And since it's over 5 seconds, we're looking at about 3,000 weapon damage per second, which is interesting. So that's a lot of health I'm going to be losing on Corpse Explosion and this Dead Storm. but I should gain it all back with Siphon Blood. The only downside I have right now is the loss of essence. Frailty right now is the only way I'm getting it back. Let's see, can I get it back otherwise? Can Decrepify or Leech give me essence back? I don't remember if I have one. This is stunned, movement speed and decay, movement speed, damage reduction. What about borrowed time? Cooldown reduction for each enemy cursed to amount. Oh wow, 20% cooldown reduction. That's pretty cool. I get the 57. No, I don't think. No. No, none of these give essence other than the one I'm using right now. So we'll just have to harvest essence. Okay. So let's take a look at this. We've got a new Siphon Blood, so we want to take a look at this new Siphon Blood animation when I get a chance here. There it is. Oh, it's got a darker blue color this time. I'll just go ahead and use a few Bone Spears so we can just confirm that I'm not getting essence back from it, from this Siphon. Alright, just throw out a couple extras to be safe. You can see that my essence is low. And, yep, no essence gained. So, let's, let's try out the new Corpse Explosion. Yeah, oh, wow. They don't... They pull... When it says pull themselves, it means they sprout legs and try to go towards the nearest enemy. That's ridiculous. Alright, let's do the Storm of the Dead. Oh my goodness. You see this? Oh my god, the blood skeletons. The blood skeletons. Oh my goodness. That was super cool. Oh, what's the range on that? Oh, okay. That is pretty cool. So this Corpse Explosion rune can be used from quite a distance away. Like, I had corpses from down here just pop themselves towards the nearest enemy. That's great. I like it. So the downside to this build, obviously, is the lack of essence gain. Now you would think that my curse would give it to me, but I've gone through my essence so quickly that I'm actually not gaining any essence at all. So there should be a build, I would think, that would allow you to get through without essence, right? So almost the only thing I'm missing on this build right now is an aura. Just kill this guy. Unfortunately, it's going to take a moment because of that. So let's change this up a bit. What if I do Aura of Frailty? Now I never have to cast it, right? This build right now, aside from Bone Spear, uses no essence, right? Corpse Explosion, no essence. My Blood Rush doesn't use essence, and it doesn't even take health because of the rune I've got. Army of the Dead obviously has a cooldown. So what can we do? Let's change this build up, right? Let's find something that doesn't need essence. Do I have anything? Bone Spear still needs essence. These things still need essence. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. If I do life support, does it still cost essence? It does. That's right. We did that just earlier. I think I have to get out of secondary for this. I don't know if I want it to be on corpses because I'm currently already using Corpse Explosion. But you know what I could do is put something like Command Skeleton. Which uses essence to knock at the enemy, but I don't have to use it. Alternatively, I could put another large cooldown like Land of the Dead, or another curse. Or, even better, I could get something like Bone Armor or Bone Spirit for some additional damage. Because Bone Spirit comes up on it has an internal cooldown, but also it lowers that cooldown through corpses that I spend. I think this might not be. I think this might be the route I go. Either that or armor. Right? I'm surviving, so I mean I'm probably going to go with this. And which one would I want to pick for this? Not the fear. Maximum number of charges would be nice, but I don't see myself really holding that many. The AoE would be kind of nice, because honestly with this build I lack any kind of AoE right now. I mean, Corpse Explosion obviously, but my primary is a single target. So let's honestly, it's tough. I mean, you know what? I'm going to increase I'll get the damage increase for everything it passes through. I'm not entirely sure how this will play out. I've got the Frailty aura now, so I don't... So this is... What we're looking at right now is an essenceless build. Alright. Wow, how far do they run? That's pretty cool. Under normal circumstances, I would probably put a more defensive ability rather than... Bone Spirit. And with that in mind, what I would probably do is maybe take out Blood Rush for Bone Armor or something. That might be what I would change up on this. That's hard to say. I find it interesting that we can do essentially a build that uses no essence at all. I mean, it's survivable because the drain is giving me plenty of health back. I can do damage whenever there's a corpse. Now, I would say that if you were really going to do this one seriously, the reason why I'm using this is because I think what I would do is, instead of Drain Life, right, because that's going to keep you alive, but what you really need, what you could really do is the one that gives you more strength. Although the downside is, okay, so what I'm thinking of is on Siphon Blood, right, if you did Power Shift, you can increase its damage, basically doubling its damage, right? 10% each time it's dealt up to 10 stacks. So 100%, basically double its damage. It's just pretty nice considering it's already 300%. But the downside of that, of course, is, well, it's not a downside, but as far as our build is concerned, if we're going on a theme, it's against theme, because obviously you'll be getting essence back. In which case, then what I would probably do is maybe instead of Bone Spirit, throw in one of our other secondaries. Maybe I would go back to Blood Spear.
That is not possible.
Maybe not Blood Spear because we're reducing how much damage I can absorb right now. But you can pick any other damaging ability that you really like. I think that's going to do it. I thought I was going to end this early. You know, I got to about 45 minutes, and ooh, it's like we're done here. No, I decided to get creative and try to make a build, which of course obviously spent time looking at skills. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. Since this went fairly quick with this XP weekend, depending upon if this lasts, like I don't know if it's going to last through Monday, because it's Sunday right now, and I'm going to have to go into work tonight, so I'm not going to be able to record tonight. So if it lasts into tomorrow morning, I could probably knock another one of these out really fast, and maybe even get a up to 64 put out prior to the next season coming out. That would honestly be kind of cool. So I'm going to just go around, I'm going to kill stuff. We're going to get to 55, but I'm not going to cover the abilities now. I will cover them when we come back. So again, thanks very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the Necromancer. Unfortunately, we're not in the beta anymore, but fortunately, we are live. And everything you see here, you can easily try out at your own whim. And look at these things skitter. Oh god, that is actually creepy. Ugh, those little things are nasty. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time.